Homes live here with Bayut. Find real and authentic properties using TrueCheck. Download the app or visit Bayut.com.
Right. No guessing or data. Dubizzle Group has acquired Property Monitor, the real estate data people. We want to know what that's going to mean for the real estate numbers that we deal with here on the Business Breakfast. Joined by a man of many job titles who may now have some more, the COO of Property Monitor, Zhann Jochinke. It's lovely to see you. Good morning.
Morning. Good to see you, Brandy.
Right. Couple of big questions. Starting with, for us, independence. We've always loved having you on because you're the independent number people. You're about to join a very large commercial group, Dubizzle. What does that mean for you?
It means good things. As Haida said earlier this morning, it's largely business as usual for us. So with the acquisition, the entire team's coming across will be under obviously the big group company, but operating for the most part as we have been before. Still be leading the business. Our whole team's there. We will now be supercharging things with rapid growth and adding more people to the team and really delivering much more across the market.
What does it mean for the data that you have access to?
Oh, I am a kid in a candy store. It just opens up a whole new pool of data for us across consumer insights, what they're looking for, different marketplaces in the UAE as well. So we've largely been Dubai focused before, and now it's expanding to more of those Emirates. There is a slew of data that we've been sitting on and have sort of archived, just haven't had the resources to build products with. Now we couple that in with an industry titan and the amount of information that they have. It's going to mean a whole lot more reports. We're largely B2B. So a lot more insights and stuff that are there for our B2B, our brokers, developers, consultancies, but we reach the consumer through them. So we reach about 250,000 people through reports that the brokers and those generate, and then out to the buyers and sellers in the market. We look around for a project here. We've probably had a finger on that project in some way with data through the developer, through architects, consultants, and others that have been involved on it. So now we're able to deliver even more insights to them and even more finger on the pulse insights. So transactions are real looking, right? And we've always had some other things that we look at with valuation data, SPA data, MOU data, listing data, but now we're actually getting to see the trends and the search traffic around that as well. So it's a huge compliment to our systems, what we're going to bring to market, and really exciting times.
Some of your data products are white labeled by third parties, places like Allsop and Allsop, yep. I think. How do you do that when you become part of Dubizzle?
So, look, Allsop's been a great partner in business with us. They'll continue to be. They utilize our data to provide tools. Again, it's B2B2C. So they're reaching that consumer directly using our data behind that. That relationship will continue. So they'll still have that consumer-facing side, and then we hit that brokerage side and empower them.
Well, we wanted you in for two reasons this morning, because it's also a year since the floods. And speaking to you after the floods, there was a lot of speculation about what it might mean in a number of areas in the property market. One of the things that you and I wondered about was whether or not it would change the way that lenders and banks wanted to do their valuation, the sort of things that they looked at. Has it?
It has, to an extent. So now all the valuations that get done, the lenders require, I think it's a central bank requirement of the lenders to now capture latitude and longitude and the elevation of the property. So they want to know if it's in a flood risk. I'd assume they're now looking at that over topographic max, historic floods. What's interesting, we don't know yet, is let's say, example, a property sits 2 meters below sea level in one community. Is it affected the same as another that's 2 meters below sea level? So how they're actually applying that across. I'm sure that the underwriters and the actuaries behind it are really looking deeply into it, but it is now a requirement that data is submitted with every valuation report, so they can do that extra check in underwriting.
Okay, so an actual quantitative change in how we value the properties for mortgages that are being bought.
Exactly. They're looking at that risk element, right? Has it been a risk before? Could it be a risk in the future? And then you've got developers now also thinking about it, looking a little bit more at the topography. Single family homes, so villa and townhouses, obviously looking more at drainage and other things there. The questions have been asked, right? So those two segments, the lending segment and the surveying segment, definitely the most active in it.
Have you, and you're a man who looks at all of the off-plan projects that are coming up, have you seen any changes in the way that off-plan's being built because of it?
Other than, I think, more just when they're looking at the master plan communities, an apartment building, it's really hard to do anyway, but in the single family homes, so villa and townhouses, they are looking and making those considerations. Has there been any change in it affecting sales? Not really. And in the completed market where you would expect it, we look at the volume before for those communities that were highest affected and after. there's not been any detraction from it. So if we were to go back to earlier, from as far as the consumer mindset, it's a little goldfish. I think it's an event that has come and passed, and it's in the rearview mirror. It's not really actively thought about anymore. Really hasn't had any effect overall on overall pricing as well.
Which is the question that we were asking after the floods. There were a lot of communities, and social media obviously amplifies this, where you could see pictures. People had. That was one stage. Someone had like a banana boat in the street. And I just thought, did you have that home waiting? Like, who owns that in the middle of an apartment community? But there you go. And there was a lot of speculation as to whether or not it would affect the values of homes that people already own in districts that have been affected more than others.
From what we've seen, it hasn't affected the values, and I think because it was largely a one-off event, it's not a storm that we see every year. Maybe they become more frequent, but the chances of that, I think a lot of people just looked at it and gone, you know what, chances of it happening, not really that big there, hasn't really affected prices, and it really hasn't affected the trading volumes in those. It's not there's been a mass exodus, oh, it's happened, we've had this insurance claim, we're not going to go through this again. Not a lot of people have moved because of it.
Zhann Jochinke, we will let you go. You've now got a bigger job. Do you get a new job title with it?
Who knows? Let's see where things go.
He's been collecting them all for some time. He is probably our most updated job title in the Business Breakfast calendar. For now, the Chief Operating Officer of Property Monitor, which has now been acquired by dubizzle Group. Zhann Jochinke, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Download the